exclusive to The Drive with Robin Ross.
And this is the problem. There was a study that came out recently that then got reported everywhere. And I looked it up, and man, it's in every single news outlet you can think of, from North America, through Europe, through India, through Australia, through South Africa. Microplastics, or nanoplastics actually,
Yes.
in plastic water bottles.
Yeah.
So a microplastic is defined as less than 5 millimeters. Okay. And there's a number of, they say they exist in our water bottles that you buy from the shop, but not often. 5 millimeters is still a very big thing. I mean, you would taste it. It was horrible. These are talking about nanoplastics, which are like almost 1/100th of a human hair.
Yeah. So the smaller ones are apparently more dangerous because the body is more amenable to just kind of taking them in.
Yes. So they were saying they were finding hundreds of thousands of them in plastic water bottles. And obviously this caused a complete freak out, and now all of the news is covering it. And I don't know if it's a great idea to have them, to be honest. I would rather not. But there's also hasn't been any conclusive proof that they're bad for you. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying they're good for you. I'm not saying this is okay. I'm saying you get to make your own decision here. But they have found in numbers much higher than they did for the other bigger plastics. The other one would be like 100.
Yeah.
This we're talking 250,000 particles. And they're so small, as Roz makes the point, that apparently they can be absorbed into the bloodstream and end up in organs and cross the, what did one scientist say? Cross the blood-brain barrier and so on and so forth. As yet, there's been no science to say these things will cause the following negative effects. But there you go. It's probably a responsible thing to know.
Ja, maar ek dink ook die mense wat wel bottled water vervaardig, gaan nie hulle self in so 'n posisie sit waar dit gevaarlik is vir mense om hulle produk te gebruik nie. Verstaan jy wat ek sê?
No, I don't think anyone wants that.
So, and I think the consumption of nanoplastics at this point in time, 2024, it's something that we are going to find in more and more of our products because it is unfortunately just the climate environmentally in which we live in.
Yeah, everything is covered in plastic, and I have absolutely no doubts that if plastic in nanoparticle sizes can get into water when things are wet, it can get into everything else when things are wet.
Yeah.
I know they found particles in meat and in all sorts of products that are packaged and so on. I feel like the only way to possibly avoid it would be to buy, I don't know, something either wrapped in glass or something that you've picked off a tree yourself.
Ja.
It's very difficult to get around these things because, as you say, this is the world we exist in.
Ja, die raad wat gegee is op een van die artikels wat ek gelees het is rather drink filtered tap water, obviously if the tap water where you live is safe to drink, and then store it in a glass container or a stainless steel cup. So now we all need Stanley cups.
Don't come back to your Stanley cup.
Stanley cup is the way, clearly, because apparently they are indestructible and they keep everything out.
So there's the story. It's done the rounds extensively. It's been shared on social media millions of times. You might have seen it, hundreds of thousands of particles and nanoplastics. We don't know if they're bad for us yet, but that doesn't mean they're good for us.
Is it going to make you stop drinking bottled water?
I don't like buying bottled water anyway.
Oh, really?
Because it's wasteful. I would rather have a reusable thing that I then fill up from my own tap.
Stanley cup.
And everyone knows that if you're going to buy a cold drink out of the fridge at the petrol station, that cold glass bottle just hits different.